All right, today we're going to be talking about Chapter 6, Lesson 3. It's called Using the Percent Equation. If you recall from the last lesson, Lesson 1, that was dealing with using the percent proportion, this here was the percent proportion. This percent was the actual number in front of the percent sign. Now, we can actually rewrite it as the part over whole equals the percent. And in this case, this is the decimal form. That's the decimal form. So we can actually rewrite this. If we multiply both sides by the whole, on this side, that would cancel out, so I'm left with the part is equal to the percent as a decimal times the whole. Or if I wanted to use symbols, I could use P for part, R for the percent, because R would be rate, and then W for the whole. So I have P equals RW. So in example 1, it says find 62% of 75, which means I'm looking for the part. So P equals RW. Remember, R is the percent as a decimal, which means that I would have 0.62. And then the whole is 75. If I go ahead and work out this calculation, 62% of 75 is going to give me 46.5. So 62% of 75 is 46.5. Very similar to Lesson 1, now let's look at a different style of problem. So I have 287 is what percent of 410? So the is, that's this 287, that's the part. So I have 287. Is what percent? I don't know. That's the R. And of is 410. So I have 287 equals R times 410. In order to get R all by itself, I have to divide both sides by 410. And if I do that, R is equal to 0.7. Remember, this is a decimal form. In order to convert a decimal to a percent, I need to move it to the right 2 places. I have to fill in this empty space with a 0, so it is 70%. Now the last example on this side. Example 3, it says 33 is 55% of what number? Again, 33 is the part. So I'm going to substitute 33 in for that. 55% is the percent, so I'm going to use 0.55. And then of what number? So my whole is the number that's missing. Get W all by itself, I'm going to divide both sides by 0.55. Now, because we're dividing by a number smaller than 1, my answer should be bigger than 33. And if I do this correctly, I would see that the whole is 60. So 33 is 55% of 60. All right. Let's look at some of the back problems here. We're solving real-world problems, and specifically including tax. So in order to find tax, what we want to do is we want to multiply the original number by the original price by the sales tax. So again, I'm going to use P times RW. Now, a camera costs $250. If a 6% sales tax is added, what is the total cost? So what we're going to do is we're going to find the amount of tax and then add it to the original number. So I'm going to use P equals RW here. The whole is 250. 6% is the rate, and that's at 0.06 times 250. And if I do that, 0.06 times 250 will get me $15 of tax. Now, it says to add it to the original amount. So I'm going to take the original amount was $250, and I'm going to add the $15 tax. So this is really going to be $265. Now, another way that we can actually do this is kind of combine both of those steps. So really, this is 250 times 1 plus 250 times the 0.06. So if I were to factor this, or use the distributive property, I would see that the 250 is a common factor, so I can pull that out. I'm left with 1 plus 0.06, which means that if I really multiply the original amount by 1.06, I would still get this 265. So 250 times 1.06 does in fact get me $265. Let's use that strategy in example 5. So it says Mr. Lee bought a memory card and paid $138.89 once tax was added. The sticker on the card said it costed $129.20. So what was the sales tax percent? Now, this is the part. It originally cost $129.20. That's the whole. I don't know what the rate was, but I do know that after I applied the rate, it was $138.89. Now, if I want to divide both sides by 129.20 in order to get the R by itself, I would find that $138.89 divided by $129.20 is 1.075. This right here is the sales tax. Now remember, that's as a decimal, so I have to move it over. So this is really 7.5% sales tax. The other way that I could have done it was I could have subtracted 138.89 and 129.20. If I do that, 9 minus 0 is 9, 8 minus 2 is 6. I can't take 8 minus 9, so I'm going to borrow. 18 minus 9 is 9, and then 2 minus 0, and 2 minus 2 is 1 minus 1. So I really have $9.69 as the amount of tax that was added on. I could then say that $9.69 is equal to the rate times 129.20. Divide both sides by 129.20, and I would see that the rate is 0.075, which would still get me to that 7.5% sales tax that we found earlier. If you have any questions, please let me know, especially on this tax stuff. We're going to be looking at this again in Lesson 4. But if you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, this is the end of Lesson 3.